What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, My Desire, and I'm back again with another review for Big Go Bell Media. Now, I cannot remember the last time that I was so excited, but I am so excited. Now, this show called Swarm is so damn good. Like, it's so damn good. I can't wait for this to post so that I could come back and see all of your comments and your thoughts on it. But this show, Swarm, is a 7-episode series. It's going to be on Prime Video and it's released March 17th. First of all, oh my goodness. Now, of course, Donald Glover is well known for his creative direction on Atlanta. But Donald Glover and Janine Nabers are the creative directors for Swarm. And let me tell you, halfway through episode 1, I was like, yo, what is going on right now? What is happening? Like, mind blown emoji. And I hope that the mind blown emoji shows up, because mind blown emoji. And so, of course, Dominique Fishback, who was first seen for me in Project Power with Jamie Foxx, she murders this role, pun intended, right? Like, she absolutely kills it. I feel like this was so amazing. For me, the genre of thriller, horror, action, it's just, oh my goodness, it was just so much happening in this show. So like I said, this is a spoiler review. If you haven't seen it, I promise you want to go watch it, come back. I will be in the comments. I will talk about it with you. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, just go watch it. I came into this not having seen the trailer, and I was like, what is this that I'm watching? And of course, there's going to be some speculation that it's going to be loosely based on a Beyonce fan. It's called Swarm. A lot of the visual effects and whatnot that they have in here seems very Beyonce based, but nonetheless, the storyline is about a young woman named Dre, which is Dominique Fishback, whose best friend, Marissa, played by Chloë Bailey, is basically obsessed with a superstar named Nyjah. And, they live together, they're roommates, and essentially Marissa passes away and it sends Dre into a spiral. And she's just going around killing people who got something bad to say about Nyjah and who got something bad to say about Marissa. Now, like I said, in episode 1, I was just already caught off guard. I was like, what the F is happening here? Right? So Marissa and Dre are best friends. They, have grown up together. And you can see that there seems to be something a little off with Dre. But Marissa is her friend, so she's going to look out for her. She's going to make sure that everything is good. And, of course, we got a little bit of a sex scene in here with Chloë Bailey. I can't not say that, because it was kind of like, wow, like, whoa, I wasn't ready. But, yeah, so Dre is kind of like just a lonely or a loner kind of space, kind of like oddball, weird. You'll see them use that term a lot in this series. So she basically can't really sustain herself. Marissa is kind of holding her together, as so it appears in this first episode. Let's make that clear. So it appears. And so she basically is working, but also doing makeup. And, they have their moments where they talk about, things that have gone on in their lives. And, there's one scene that stuck out for me in particular was, Marissa is doing Dre's makeup, and then she it puts her arm around Dre, and Dre starts to kiss the scar that's left on her wrist, which I would, they're leaning towards suicide here, right? They're showing you it's a scar where she cut herself, a suicide attempt. And Dre starts to kiss it, which I found awkward, but I understood like what they were doing with this, with this kind of sort of build up, so to speak. So we had that scene happen, and then directly after that, we have Marissa asking Dre to, look out for her, to close up for her at the shop that they work at, because she has a makeup gig. Of course, Dre botches the job because old boy comes and he wants to buy something for her birthday and whatnot. Well, let me not say old boy. Khalid, which is Marissa's boyfriend, played by Damson Idris, he shows up and he's like, hey, I want to buy something or get something for Marissa's birthday. And which it turns into a whole shit show, kind of, sort of, or it starts the starting of a shit show, because he basically tries to push up on Marissa. Now this is, or Dre, sorry, after the fact, when Dre had caught Marissa and Khaled having sex, right? She actively just watches them have sex. And so he said, well, you don't got to be a virgin forever. He tries to kiss her. She turns away. She leaves, and she goes back to find the store vandalized. Excuse me. And so, of course, Marissa, gets called, and Dre had to tell her what happened. Of course, the owner is hella pissed, but by this time, Marissa is just over it. So she decides that she needs some space. She's going to leave Dre and she's going to go live with Khaled. Now, of course, Dre is like, listen, no, don't do it. He tried to push up on me. He's not a good dude. He's a cheater. Like, you deserve better. I want more for you. She leaves anyway. And Dre just, apparently a new Niger video comes out and she goes to the club. And when I tell you that I, for a second, thought that this was like, I thought for sure that this was a dream. It was not. So Dre gets dressed up. She goes out to the club. She meets this white dude. She goes back to the white dude's house. Things happen. Next morning, you see them waking up. Bing, bada, boom. And you're like, oh, this happened. Meanwhile, her phone is dead. She's getting all these calls from Marissa. She finally turns the phone on. She gets home. She goes. She sees Marissa laying in the bed. And unfortunately, Marissa is dead. She's committed suicide. She takes her to the clinic. This whole episode, just the way they clean the house up, the movers are there, and Dre's just on the couch, like lounging, all this stuff. And this is when you kind of see her go into this space, because now it's like, holy shit, like what's happening? By this time, she's, like seeing tweets and stuff like that about Marissa and how that was stupid that she killed herself over a Niger video, or the Niger mess, whatever, right? And so then we have Dre trying to go to the funeral. She's asked to leave by the family, and you're just thinking to yourself like, wow, this is all in episode 1, okay? And when I tell you that it was crazy, like I sat there for a second, just stuck looking at the TV, like, wow. Like, I mean, again, I'm trying to tell, like, I really just want y'all feedback when y'all see this show, because I have been telling everybody about it. And I'm like, yo, you gotta watch this when it comes out. Like, I sat there in one full setting and I watched the entire series. It was so good. At this point, I missed the fact that Dre had gotten Marissa and her Niger tickets. Khaled, the boyfriend, wanted to take her to Atlanta. She, and he comes to see Dre, and she's telling him like, nah, you can't do that, because I got us tickets. And Dre tries to bribe Marissa essentially to not leave. This is before she commits suicide. But yeah, like this is just crazy to me. It's so much that I didn't see coming. So much happened, and I probably won't go episode by episode, but I wanted to give y'all like the meat of the episode 1 and like what drew me in. And of course, at the end of episode 1, this is when she has her first murder. So she goes to see Khaled, she's telling him how he didn't show up at the funeral. He's telling her how he was heartbroken and that, they fought, but it wasn't nothing like this. Like, he never thought it would be like this. And for a second there, it looks like he's trying to kiss her, but then he offers her tea. And I knew from the jump that she wasn't there to like be friendly with this dude. Like, I was well aware. But yeah, so he offers her tea, goes into the kitchen, takes out the teacups. And she pulls a lamp from out of the socket and walks over and just smashes him in the head. He falls to the ground, and then you just, the rest is obviously, you can tell what happens. But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, God damn, like, wow, like, what? So, like I said, she just goes on this rampage to murdering people who talk bad about Naija, people who talk bad about Marissa, people who she's just fucking angry with. Just, I mean, for real, seriously, like, for real. So, like I said, she's on this journey, right? She goes to find people who have tweeted stuff and whatnot like that. So the next dude on the list is Reggie, because Reggie said that he basically tweeted and said that she got what she deserved. So now we see her at the strip club trying to make money, but not really trying to make money, but really trying to find this dude to figure out, like, how can I get to him because he talked bad about my friend. And so she's stripping. The girl is telling her, like, you can't be dancing to this depressed ass music, you know, whatever. Some girl, another stripper, basically like has an argument with her boyfriend and somehow follows her to the hotel she's staying at, wants to use her bathroom, asks her, can she go eat? And then like goes to basically tells her that she got to drop. The girl says, well, you got to drop me off. You know what I mean? Because like he'll think I'm cheating if you don't. And so she does it. She goes inside the house or whatever like that. She hears them arguing. She leaves. She decides to go back, right? And yeah, she ends up killing old boy, right? With a dumbbell, a heavy ass dumbbell. She's bringing the body outside. An old girl shows up. And you're like, where the fuck did she come from? Right? Because I thought I left you at the hotel. And she's talking. Well, she doesn't talk. Let me stop. She doesn't talk. She starts kicking dude, right? She's kicking dude. She's like, you dusty piece of shit, you know, whatever, fill in the blanks. And she's kind of like good riddance or whatever. And then she's like, what do we do now? Like, should we run? Maybe we should go to Mexico. I mean, like, this is cool. Like, are we like Bonnie and Clyde? And I'm thinking, oh shit, like Dre about to kill her. You know, I'm like, Dre gonna just grab the shovel and then like she shoots the girl. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell you, like, if y'all don't have that many like pause, shock moments, please let me know. If I'm by myself, please let me know. But I swear to you, some of the stuff I just did not see coming. And I'm like, wow. Okay. So shoots the girl. And now she got to bury both of them because she already started digging a hole for the boyfriend. And then decides to eat the sandwich that the girl made for her and whatnot. I mean, I just can't, I can't make this shit up. Like, it's mind boggling. And to see this type of creative direction from Donald and what is her name? Janine. It's not surprising for Donald. I'm not familiar with Janine's work, but this show is so good. Like I said, so of course, like they don't necessarily find Reggie in the beginning, but the girls ask her, the strippers at the club basically ask her, like, hey, do you want to make some extra money? Right? You could be our designated driver. So cool. So by happenstance, they like coming back, they catch a flat tire. And they run into Reggie. He's like, oh, you can come back to my house. I can fix it, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they get back to his house and, you know, he goes inside and he's like, she starts asking these people, like, who's your favorite? Well, she asked him in particular, like, who's your favorite artist? And he's like, I don't know. And then, you know, she tells him what he said in a tweet about Naija or about Marissa. And then, you know, kind of just sets it off it kind of just goes from there. But mind you, she's with the other girls. She's with 4 of the strippers, I believe, right? So the girls are kind of just like, listen, you know, chill out. Like, you being real weird. He fixes the car, you know, whatever, they're getting ready to leave. She's like, oh, I got to use the bathroom. So she goes in, she sets like a trap in the shower, and then she grabs the skillet and she's waiting for him to come out the shower, not realizing that he's not in the shower. So he pops up behind her, like, what are you doing? She hits him, and then he starts fighting her, but he's actually about to choke her out. And then the girls come back in because they're like, well, what the hell is taking so long? They come back in, they trying to help get this man off of her. One of the girls shoots the man, killing him. And she basically like runs out of the bathroom and skirts off in the car, leaving them there. Like, tell me this ain't some this is some crazy shit. I'm trying to tell you, it's crazy. Like, I'm seriously, like, it's crazy. So, but I'm not surprised, right? Because, like, of course she wants them to take the fall for it. And what was she going to do? Besides, they were going to probably turn her in or, you know, some other shit like that. Mind you, and beforehand, when one of the girls was trying to go to the trunk to get like a tire or whatever to fix it, she, you know, somebody was like, she slammed it really hard, and they asked her like, damn, you got a dead body in there or something? Like, what's up? But she just starts laughing like a psychopath. Clearly. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, it's very psychopathic laugh to me. So this is her this is her fourth kill, right? Like, this is her fourth kill. So then we have let me see, I'm just trying to, don't mind me, y'all. I'm kind of going through my notes, but I want y'all to get all the good stuff. So then we have her going to a guy's house. First of all, this house is nice. Okay, this house is super nice. And I'm trying to figure out, like, how did she get past security? He don't got a security alarm. He don't got nothing in here. This nice ass house, he don't got nothing. He notices that something off. He senses that something is off. But then, you know, he's like, whatever. He's like going into his closet. Shorty like smashes him in the leg. She's, you know, he's crawling out, and she's like, you know, who's your favorite artist? It's not Nyjah. You know, why did you say that Nyjah couldn't keep a man? He was like, I never said that. And then she pulls up a tweet, and he's like, a tweet? Like, a tweet? And she just bashes his brain in, which is actually what this scene behind me is from, right? I'm trying, when y'all watch this show, when y'all get to this episode, tell me that scene ain't crazy. Tell me that scene not crazy. She literally just, like, she's dancing while listen, all right, I'm gonna just keep going. So she has this instance, right? And every episode, it just feels like they're giving you something different. And what I mean by different, I just mean by like a different scenario, but same outcome, same shit. Somebody is like, said something bad about Nyjah, said something that, you know, was bad about Marissa. And, you know, it just, whatever. So then we have Alice, who says that Nyjah is some sort of demon. This is like a news reporter. And, you know, for me, I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is definitely going to be a kill scene, right? She's following her, like about to bash her head in with a dumbbell or kettlebell, rather. Now, pause. I forgot something very, very important. Marissa's phone is still active, and Dre is texting herself from Marissa's phone and responding to the text as if Marissa was still alive. Y'all, come on now. Like, if this wasn't a horror series for real, and like a psycho series and a thriller, like, I don't know, like, this is, yo, I'm trying to tell you, like, anyway, so she's constantly texting herself back and forth, right? So in this particular scene, Marissa's phone basically texts Dre and says, like, follow the stage pass, because she runs into a guy. He gets into the elevator and he has concert access. And so she follows him home. She makes up this extravagant lie about her, you know, her boyfriend beating her. And she basically like hangs out with him and all this other stuff. And he asks her, does he want to come to a concert? He's working later. She says yes. They go to the all access backstage party. She uses his pass to get in. She locks him in the cooler, you know, at least it wasn't a freezer. She didn't want to kill him. She locks him in the cooler, and then she proceeds to go to the after party. And this is where Nyjah is, you know, along with her sister. And she does the whole, like, she apparently, well, to me, I thought she had actually had a plum, but as they kept going deeper and deeper into the scene, she actually bites Nyjah. You don't see that happening, but you just see somebody screaming, oh my God, somebody bit Nyjah. So she's running out of there, you know, just because she's at this point, she's like losing her shit. She runs out of there, and I'm thinking to myself, yo, she into cannibalism too? Like, this a lot. You know what I mean? Like, cause you bitter. Like, you bitter? Like, all right, okay. All right. So she bites her, and that's pretty much the end of that. Like, and I'm wondering, and I gotta check this, because I wonder if the episodes got shorter or if they just went by so fast that I thought they got shorter, but nonetheless, we're moving on. So now we have her. Let me just make sure that I'm not missing anything. Yeah. So she decides now, like, she's driving, right? She falls asleep at the wheel, and a police officer pulls up behind her. He's like, oh, you going to that festival? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna follow you to this hotel to make sure you get there. She stops at like a gas station, convenience store, and she's like, looking out the window, looking at the cop, and a young lady notices that she's doing it. So she goes out, talks to the cop, and then, sits there, and Dre leaves out, and white girl waves to her. Now, the white girl, this is Cricket. Yeah, this is Cricket. So she invites her back to the house. Now, in my mind, in any other instance, I'd have been like, nah, you crazy for going back, because you don't know what they're going to do to you. In my mind now, I'm like, nah, y'all crazy for inviting her, because y'all don't even know what she about to do, and this is about to be real crazy and reckless. Nonetheless, Cricket invites her back. She actually decides to go. They got a good housing situation going on, fresh food, whatever. And it looks like, what's the right word to use? A cult. It looks like a cult, right? And they're there, they just have their moments, and they go hiking, and they do all this kind of stuff, And then at some point in time, she decides, Cricket is like doing therapy with her or whatever, right? So you have like, they had like spa day after the hike now, so now they're like, hey, Cricket wants to talk to you. Whatever. This, to me, I call this hypnotherapy, because she was snapping her fingers, and every time she snaps her fingers, it's like, hey, say your name. And I knew that eventually she was going to say Dre, because at this point she had been using fake names. She was Kayla in this situation, Kayla. And then eventually when Cricket got, when she had enough snaps, she started saying her real name, like, my name is Dre. Started asking her questions, because there was blood in the back of her seat. Now the car had been cleaned. Like, so they saw the blood, they know she did something, so what is it that you did? And Cricket is asking all these questions, like, who hurt you? Who did you hurt? What happened? Like, tell me more. And so now you see, as it gets deeper and deeper, Dre is starting to like show up. Like, she's starting to like, and mind you, they're supposed to be going to the concert, because Naja is playing at this festival that they're all supposed to be going to. And so now they, after the last session that they have, Cricket asks her about her sister, and she goes, no, like, nah. So they go out to the fire, and they're talking, and she mentions her name, and then one of the other girls actually mentions her name, and she's like, oh, you told them about me. Like, nah, you playing games with me? Like, nah, now you want to see who I really am. Like, give me back my phone so that I can leave out of here, because now they took her phone. Remember, I told you she was using that phone to text Marissa's phone. So I did not see what, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all that this shit had me on edge, and it had me in my shock face like so much throughout the show. But of course, she's like ready to leave. She gets in the car, and Cricket, she shouldn't have did this shit. She was like, I'm your day one. Like, we your family now. Like, you here with us. You belong here with us. Mind you, now at this point, Dre's deciding, like, she don't know what day it is. She don't know what time it is, and she could have missed the concert. Like, she gotta go. So Cricket and so now it's like 4 of the girls, right? 4 of the girls are out here trying to tell her, like, no, we're your family. You belong here with us. You should stay. This and the third. And Cricket goes and stands in front of the car, And I don't think she realizes who she's actually dealing with, because Dre runs her ass over. Like, she hits her and she's already probably dead on impact. But then she reverses the car and then she runs over her again. Meanwhile, one of the girls jumps on top of the car. The other girls are screaming, like, what did you do? Like, what did you do? What did you do? She takes off laughing like a maniac, driving, slams the brakes so that the girl falls off the car. She's like crying and whatnot. Dre grabs the crowbar and beats her to death. After all that, she still pulls up at the concert venue and security is turning her away because they're like, the concert is over, ma'am. You gotta go. Like, you can just, like, you've missed it. So, like, adios, amigos. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, whoo, like, I'm thinking that this is going to send her into a deeper spiral. Maybe she might go back and finish off the job with the other girls, but no. So we have her returning to her home state, right? She runs into the girl she used to work for. She's lying, saying that she decided that she wanted to continue Marissa's dream. So now she's the one doing makeup and she's in LA and she's living her best life and life is amazing. And you're like, what? Okay. Oh, that's what we doing? All right. Okay. So after that, Dre decides to go back to the house of Marissa. So she goes to Marissa's parents' house. Let's be clear. She like goes in through a window. You know, she's trying to figure out how to keep the phone on because she had basically gone to the cell phone store and he was like, this phone is set to be turned off, like, you know, and she's like, turn it back on, like, I need this phone on. And he's like, it says here, like, the dad's name that like the phone is set to be turned off and it doesn't belong to you, and so the person who it belongs to ain't here and I can't do it, like, I can't do it. So she breaks into their parents' house and grabs the dad's gun and she's just kind of sitting and waiting. The parents come home and they're like, you know, the husband says, like, you left the light on. And she's like, huh? And then he's like, yeah, you left the light on. So I have no idea what transpired because I swore to you that man had went upstairs and was going to like get shot. Right. But I guess his senses went off and he was like, and she already knew what the deal was because she sat on the couch. The mom sat on the couch. Dre came out with the gun and sat on the couch and was like, this phone. And the mom is like, oh, you came back to finish the job, did you? Because they blame her for Marissa's death. So she's like, oh, you came back to finish the job, did you? And she's like, huh? Like, no, I just want this phone on. Now, let me say in this episode, I realized that Marissa and Dre are actually like stepsisters, not stepsisters, adopted sisters. Like, they took Dre in. This family took Dre in. She's in some of the pictures, but they started to fold her out of the pictures so that you couldn't see her anymore. So you already know she was troubled because if they went through all this trouble to go through the pictures in the house, cut you out or fold you out, ooh, child, what did you do at this point? So we have the mother sitting on the couch. The dad comes out with a shotgun. He says, put the gun down. You know, mom is like, you can't take anything from us that you already haven't taken. And she was like, I just need this phone. Like, I just need this phone. And so, you know, she puts the gun down and he kind of like he's like telling her to put her hands up or whatever, and tells the wife to go hide basically and be safe. And he's going to handle it. You know, he's telling her to put her hands up and, you know, all this other stuff. She runs upstairs, barricades herself into the room and jump off the roof. But the dad comes in. He's like shooting at her with the shotgun. She done messed her leg up, you know, all sorts of stuff. And he's like, if you come back here, I'm going to kill you. Like, I'm going to blow your head off. And I'm thinking to myself, like, goddamn. Like, goddamn. Like, for real. Like, you, like, wow. That's all I got is wow. And so these parents are pissed, like, and the audacity of you to come back in here asking for their dead daughter's phone to be left on for you so that you can feel good about texting your best friend that you know, the phone calls that you missed. Like, ma'am, what? Anyway, all right. So now in this episode 6, we have a detective. This is like the detective episode, and the detective is going around asking all these questions, putting pieces together because they're telling she's basically telling her department, like, look, this is a serial killer. Like, these things don't make sense, like, this doesn't make sense that this would just happen. It's passionate, it's blood force trauma. Like, these crimes are done because something happened to this person. And she starts to put 2 and 2 together. I believe the first murder was some not random, but what we thought was random, but she's looking at the pictures and sees how, like, the person eats and stays for a while, like how there's a certain, like, tendency. There's always blood force trauma, but there's always food missing. And so she starts to get these clues and puts things together. She goes to visit Marissa's parents. She goes to visit Khaled's brother, like his brother. She puts this story together about the strippers. And finally, she gets a picture of Dre. She's able to post it out there. She's telling them, like, this person is dangerous. This is a serial killer. And lo and behold, she understands, like, why Reggie got killed and the other dude at the house got killed. And so it's very interesting because it seems so real. Like, it seems so believable that this actually happened. And listen, I'm not gonna hold you. I definitely tried to, like, Google some stuff and look up some things, but I couldn't find a lot. I used, like, key things, like, did Beyonce get bit? Again, this is just all speculation, so I'm not trying to get stung by the Beehive. But listen, I'm just saying. And so we have the detective, like, putting things together, and at this point, like, putting out a warrant for Dre's arrest, finding out what she looks like now, and it's just so crazy. And so, of course, we have the final episode where Dre seems to be kind of like a little screwed tighter. She meets this girl and at this party because she's Ubering now to make money, and she ends up taking these 2 girls home. One whose roommate is just drunk as hell. And she gives her a phone number. She doesn't call, but then she ends up running into the girl again. And, they hit it off. They have coffee. They go back to her place. They get ready to have sex, but then she gets her period. So, but they have, like, a going relationship. Like, maybe the last, I'm going to just say 30 days because I don't think it was that long. But who knows? I don't know. But this girlfriend, Rashida, she meets her. She's smart. Rashida's smart, has a job, doing really well for herself. And they go on these dates, and, she was supposed to get flowers and whatnot because they were going to meet Rashida's parents. But let me back up for a second because I missed something. So when she met Rashida, they were listening to music, and Rashida skipped a Niger song, and she was like, "That's my favorite artist," And she looks at Dre and she's like, "Well, I don't like Naja. I don't like her." And you have her kind of in that moment. I'm thinking, oh, Dre about to kill you because, like, you don't talk bad about Naja. But she doesn't. So they go on to have this relationship, which I thought was very interesting because I'm thinking to myself, why would you do this to yourself? This person don't like what you like. Why would you go and get in a relationship with a woman who doesn't like, doesn't like your kind of music or your person? Like, I mean, not to say that most people won't do that, of course. But Dre is not most people. She has a very particular, keen sense of liking to Naja. And if you don't like Naja, you are, like, in her crosshairs. So she ends up, like, trying to buy these flowers for her mom, and she can't. So she ends up going to the house, meet the parents, and parents, mom is like, she hasn't brought anybody home, or she doesn't bring a lot of people home. So, this is a good sign. So they leave there. Everything seems to be good. It's great. And then like the next day, Rashida comes in from work and she's like, I got something for you. Or Dre's like, I got something for you. And she's like, what? And so she gave her 2 tickets to go see Nyjah. Oh boy. So she folds the tickets up and she's like, yeah, we're not going. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, those are front row tickets. She's like, yeah, we're not going. She's like, you don't have money for rent. I just had to ask my parents for money to make sure that we were good because you haven't had a job and you went and you bought Nyjah tickets for front row. Like, you're selfish as hell. Like, you don't listen to me. Like, you could have took me to go see her sister and I would have known that she would listen to me. And so she calls her selfish, gets all up in her face. And I'm just like, oh man, she about to die. So, yep, lo and behold, right? Dre chokes her to death, wraps the body up. And mind you, Rashida had the tickets in her pocket. She burns the body and then realizes that she's burning the tickets, goes and tries to get tickets at the cost, at the call box or the box office. She's like, all I need is your ID and you're good to go. She doesn't have ID because she used Rashida's name. So then she goes to buy tickets off a scalper. They go back to his car, which I'm thinking is crazy as hell because I usually just think that you would buy tickets right there. Like, why the scalper got to go anywhere? And yeah, so he's a casualty of Drea as well, because she stabs him to death. And yeah, I'm just like, oh man. So then she goes to the concert. She bum rushes everybody to get into the front. She gets, how do you even make it on stage? I don't even know. But she gets to the front. She climbs over the barricade. She gets onto the stage. She starts running towards Nyjah. When security bum rushes her and they grabbing her or whatever. And then Nyjah says something like, go ahead and sing for them. And she just says, Dre says, I love you all. And Nyjah just like, does this. And so they all like clap for her and raise their hand. And then you see Nyjah leaving with Dre, kind of like covering her from the spectacle of what they call those paparazzi and news outlets. So, and this is why I gave it what did I give it? I think I gave it an 8.7, right? Because the last episode for me just seemed like such a little bit of a letdown considering all that had happened. It just didn't make sense to me. So like halfway through the episode, I was just like, oh, okay, shit, like, wow. But then you get to the point where the concert happens and I'm like, damn, that's it. So yeah, but still overall, like amazing thriller. I could probably watch it again and there will be things in there that I'm sure that I missed. And I'm sure that there's some things that I probably overlooked. But by all means, y'all, I'm not perfect. Please feel free to drop your thoughts and the things that I missed. And I'll come back and talk about them with you. I'm really excited for y'all to see this show. Like, it's super dope. I definitely want to hear your thoughts, your ratings, your comments, what you like, what you didn't like. Maybe you didn't like it. Maybe do you think it's about Beyonce? Because it's a lot of speculation, and I know that Black Twitter gonna go off, tomorrow. So we shall see. But again, March 17th, Prime Video, Swarm. Definitely check it out. Your girl Dominique did a mashup job on this shit. Like, yo, I can only see it going up from here for her because that was freaking fire. The whole cast was dope. Chloë Bailey, Damson Idris, like everybody was dope. So shout out to everybody. Of course, Donald Glover and Janine, Nabers, who came up and created the show. So go see it. Come back here. Tell me your thoughts. I want to know. And until then, peace, y'all.